Chef, we're talking here about cuisine, about Japanese food. You're not Japanese, you're of Japanese descent. I believe that for sure I've been to Japan several times, right?
It's not several times.
But the heart is divided. It's either Brazilian or Japanese. It's Brazilian. If it's Brazilian,
Brazil, then I'm Brazilian.
okay. But isn't there even a little bit of will you be sad if Japan goes through?
No, I won't be sad either, no.
Oh, then everything's all right. Another episode of Cultura e Bola na área. This time for Brazil and Japan. And I, as you can see, had the mission to find the perfect place to talk about Japanese culture, more specifically the cuisine. And I've already found it. It's Sushi. Come with me. Hey, excuse me, Chef Takashi, how are you?
I'm good. Welcome to Sushi.
Everything's great. Thank you so much for having us. Let's go. I want to experience Japanese cuisine, Nesh. Very cool, Chef. I feel like I'm in Japan here.
Thank you.
That's right, my dear João Vidal. Japan is going to face the Brazilian team in a tough match for Brazil, okay? Because Japan is experiencing the most talented generation in its history, at least in terms of talent. If not in terms of names, if not in terms of spirit, maybe in terms of talent, this Japanese team is the best in the history of their national team. And because of that, there are even people saying that Japan comes in as the favorite in the match against Brazil. That's crazy, right? Who could have imagined that would happen, right? Man, and why? Why do they say that? Because last year these two teams faced each other and Japan beat the Brazilian team 3-2. It's also worth remembering that it was a very different team and that most of Brazil's main players weren't in that game. In fact, the villains from that day who made mistakes in Japan's goals are also not in the World Cup. So they're different things, they're very different games, but a lot of people still carry the memories of that match. But before we talk about memories, let's also talk about the first, only, and last time the Brazilian national team faced Japan in the World Cup, back in 2006 when Brazil dominated the match. The Japanese national team at that time was coached by Zico, a Brazilian, a national team idol, and they even took the lead on the scoreboard. But Brazil turned the game around with a show from Ronaldo Fenomeno, who scored twice and helped build up a 4-1 rout. That was the only time these two teams met in a World Cup, so this year's game is their second encounter, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what will happen in this match.
Chef, about how long would it take to make a Japanese dish so I can try it here? Chef's suggestion.
I'm going to make something really traditional that's very popular here in Rio, right? Which is mini OCA, mini omakase, but just with sushi now, right? Check it out. I'll put in some of the fish we have, right? And show some fish. I'll begin with the vinha, which is a very traditional fish, right?
Does it usually take a long time like this for how long on average, more or less, after the customer arrives? Man, how long does it usually take, more or less? The guy ordered, it depends on the dish's complexity.
It depends on each dish, right? Yeah. There are some dishes that take longer, some that are quicker, right? It also depends on how busy the place is, right? If it's really crowded, it takes a little longer. There are some dishes that are basically just frying. Some dishes are more complex. You have to grill, fry, prepare the plate, right?
Mostly, Japanese food is something that's prepared quickly, or at least it seems that way, because it uses a lot of, I could be wrong, of course you can correct me. It uses a lot of natural things, right? A lot of fresh ingredients. That's how it is.
So normally, for example, this sushi here, it's ready now, but to get to this point, it takes a lot of time, okay?
So you prepare it beforehand, right?
I prepare the rice, clean the fish, choose the fish, so there's a bit of a complex preparation beforehand. This here is just the finishing touch, okay?
So there's all the preparation before the final result. There's the whole heating process, right? That's it.
Let's put it this way. In this type of dish here, since you're going to eat it right away, it's allowed to use hot rice, okay? It's allowed. Sushi closer to what people think is best, okay? Hot rice is not. Perfect. The rice is about 35 degrees, right? That's not our case. Since we have all-you-can-eat service and also deliveries, we can't do that. Otherwise, the fish will spoil, okay?
Well, so it's that time now, right? Now I'm going to try what Chef Takashi is preparing for us. Look, everything is really good, man. All right, careful, chef. Look.
Here we have traditional tuna sushi, right? Check it out. In this style, the sushi already comes with wasabi inside, right? We only recommend eating the gari when you switch the type of fish, okay?
Perfect. So
You can give it to me by hand.
I'll take it here. Look, the chef said so.
The correct thing would be,
Look. Of course. Very good. With soy sauce, it's sensational, chef.
the right way would be to put the fish in the soy sauce.
Dip the whole piece of fish in the soy sauce, okay? No, I made a mistake, but I'll fix it. Look, I'm learning because I don't have it, see? Of course. Borges, sensational, man. And like, at this speed, only the Japanese team has it too, right, my brother?
That's right, Vidal. The Japanese team is a team whose main characteristic is really speed. It's a very organized team, and the coach, Moriatsu, also knows how to take advantage of this speed, this quickness of his players. And he uses that both on the defensive side and on the offensive side of the game. Shall we go to the tactics board? The Japanese national team plays in a 3-4-2-1 formation, 3 in the first line, 4-2-1. It's a formation that looks a lot like something from a video game, but if we bring it to real life, the way Radim Moriatsu sets up this team, it's a complication for all their opponents. The main play happens on the wings. Here, they have 4 players who are attackers. So they have attackers playing as wingbacks, as fullbacks. And especially in the defensive sector, they close the back line, turning the last line into a line of 5. And the wingers, further up, turn the second line into a line of 4. This is a huge roadblock for any big national team that likes to play with ball possession. And this is Japan's main path to beat Brazil. And in this, they have 4 players who are extremely fast. The players have changed positions a lot. So Takefusa Kubo, Ritsu Doan, Maeda, who even scored a very important goal already in this World Cup. Nakamura, who gained a lot of space as a left wing back in this World Cup. Anyway, there are many options. There's also Junya Ito, who comes off the bench. Anyway, the Japanese national team has many options to choose from, and on that side of the field, and up front, the one who's been playing is Ueda, who is a player with great finishing ability. In the midfield, the ones who provide balance both defensively and offensively are Kamada along with Sano. They are also very important players for the balance of this team, and it's a team that attacks as a unit. So when they attack, everyone moves up. Everyone moves forward. The defensive line often stays in the middle. They also like to press after losing the ball. But when they have to drop back, they do it as a unit. So, like we talked about here with Ueda's importance to this team is huge because he also drops back to help. So they set up a line of 5 at the back. This line of 4 more central players, and Ueda still drops back. So it's a team that presses as a unit, drops back as a unit. And when they have the ball, they also attack as a unit. It's a very dangerous team. And they have fast players. Like we mentioned, these guys on the wings, they do a great job running. So when Japan has possession, they're able to play a longer ball down the sides. Always attacking the space behind the fullbacks in this area here, they can be very dangerous. Naturally, when they receive the ball out here on the wing, there are always players coming from behind. There's always someone to fill the box. And naturally, Kamada is the one who shows up much more than Sano, or whoever is playing with him in midfield, to be able to attack. And then naturally Sano moves up and the line moves up. It's a block attack, and always with many attacking options to complement the plays.
Boss, first I want you to answer me. What's the best way to make good Japanese food?
The best way is to be simple but perfect. Simplicity. Japanese food is simplicity perfected. So getting the cooking just right, stirring the rice just right, and all of that, the rice has to be good quality. Everything has to be good quality. And keeping things as simple as possible, right?
And what's the most popular dish here at Zoo Sushi? The one most people order.
The dish that sells the most is the regular sushi, right? We have some contemporary sushi like matungu foie gras, samambule, some torch seared fish. And we also have a really big variety of fish, right? We usually have 7 or 8 types of fish that aren't just tuna here in Samoa, which are commonly used in Japanese food outside of Rio, let's put it that way, right? Some restaurants have a lot of variety, but most of them focus only on tuna and salmon.
And tell me, in Japan, do Japanese people have any preference for a specific dish? Of the Japanese food we know here, the way it's made here, do they have any preference? Is sushi the main dish or is it sashimi?
Sushi or sashimi isn't an everyday dish, okay? These dishes are for special occasions, not every day. There are others. Japan is a cold country, so there are many kinds of soup, okay? Many kinds of soup and many noodles as well, okay? So these are the everyday dishes. Boiled vegetables, right? And also stir-fried vegetables.
Before we continue our chat here, Borges, these are the steps to follow according to our chef Takashi to make good Japanese food. What are the ways for the Japanese team to surprise Brazil?
Of course, Vidal, of course, Brazil has its own ways, its own methods to beat Japan, and that's what we're going to tell everyone now as well. Before we begin, like this video and subscribe to our channel. Cultura Ebola's incredible series is just getting started. We're only halfway, with 4 episodes left until the big final where Brazil could win its 6th title. Share your thoughts in the comments. Will the 6th title happen? Man, maybe the main way Antelope can win this game is something he already knows very well, and something he faced for years in Spanish football. Over in Spain, the smaller teams are used to facing the bigger teams by setting up a line of 5 defenders in their defensive area. Exactly what Japan can offer to the Brazilian national team. And so, if we look at the past as well, Neymar, for example, has already helped the coach of the Brazilian national team win against a 5-man defensive line. Back at the 2016 Olympics, there's a really cool image of Neymar talking with Rogério Micali, who was in charge of that Olympic team. And he says, man, in Spain we face these 5-man defensive lines a lot. And the big secret to possibly breaking through this Japanese team is to try to create numerical superiority on the flanks. It's about relying on Douglas Santos and Danilo for support, not always reaching the end line, but mainly assisting in the build-up as extra men on their sides. Naturally, this gives the Brazilian team an extra player and forces Japan to push forward and cover that side, creating more space. But what about the middle? With this creation of space, Paquetá and Bruno Guimarães have this ability and have already been very important in this World Cup by attacking the space. And up front, Matheus Cunha. Why is it important for Brazil to open up the field and leave Vinicius Jr. or Luis Henrique or whoever is playing in that position really wide on the flank? Because naturally they force the fullbacks and the center backs covering to be very alert on that side as well. That creates space for Matheus Cunha to make a run, possibly getting in behind the defense or coming in to help build up play. And it also creates space for those wingers to cut inside. So Brazil has methods, has many ways. Numerical superiority and that width on the field so the players can find the spaces and beat Japan. That's the main way for Brazil to enjoy themselves against Japan, just like Vidal is doing, right, my friend?
Hey, Borges, and I'm going to wrap this up here by savoring this, and I'm going to leave you with your mouth watering there, my friend. Boss, what's coming up now?
Now I'm gonna make a buri belly, right? Bullseye belly, okay?
That's great, man.
It's a fish that's highly appreciated in Japanese cuisine, right? And it makes excellent sushi.
Look how amazing that is, man. Here it's culture and soccer, soccer and culture. You're learning everything about the Japanese national team with Borges, and also everything about Japanese cuisine, which is very traditional and very beloved here in Rio de Janeiro, in our big Brazil. Are you ready, chef? Ready? You eat this one with your hands too.
This one is with the hand too, okay?
The fish in the sauce, right? The fish in the sauce. Look, I learned, see? Fish in the sauce, let's go. Sensational. Borges, we're wrapping up here because this right here, look, only here at Zoo Sushi. You have to check it out. Top marks.